You are now watching an Agorist production by We Are Change Texas Hill Country and Truth Exposed Radio, coming to you from Austin, Texas at Brave New Books.
In jail doesn't have to go past the censors, can go directly to the inmates. And in the jail that he works, they're so popular, they have to write down a list, a waiting list for who's next to read it on the inside of the cover. Because when you have that cognitive dissonance, when you get sent to jail and you get told you're bad, you're wrong, even though it's a victimless crime, you give people the resolve to understand that they're the victim. The victimizers don't really like that. So, because I have this pot charge, I have to take a P test at random, and when I'm in Los Angeles, my legal residence at the moment, every 24 hours, I have to call a hotline. Oh, we have no reception down here apparently. Well, let's try this again.
I have reception.
Alright. So every night when I'm in LA, so I explained this all to Ben, and he's like, well, you're allowed to travel for work, right? I'm like, yeah, the judge said explicitly I'm allowed to travel for work. He said, guess what? You're going to be doing a lot of traveling for work. So that's the real reason we're doing this tour. I'm just trying to avoid my probation officer.
Entertainment purposes only.
So, about what Catherine said in introducing me, it really means so much to hear someone notice that. And thanks, Mom. To see that growth as in another person, for someone who, you know, is the guy who gets up on stage and does YouTube videos and makes news stories, and that a lot of other activists look up to have someone I have so much immense respect for, as Catherine say, oh, it's so nice to see you grow, Adam. It's really, really affirming. And I know that, you know, Derek, you talk about this in terms of the spirituality, and in terms of parenting, as Bob was talking about, and Pat and John, and how important that is, and how universal. So you see, again, that this is inevitable. You see that this is evolutionary. It is so fundamental to that. And I'm just lucky to be the guy with the microphone going through this slow enough to be captured on film. Because really, I mean, I have to be so humble. And I used to get sick of telling my story, but I'm going to go over it for people who don't know, with an emphasis on the activism part and the evolution part. So I started, I joined the Marines when I was 17 years old. If you couldn't tell what branch of service I was in, the stupid look on my face kind of gives it away. Any other former Marines in the room, former service members, it's nice to see you're all better now. And I enlisted when I was 17, went when I was 18, volunteered to go to Iraq. I was in Fallujah in 2004, brought a pistol back, got in trouble for it, and got demoted the day before. The day after, I got a medal for my time in Iraq. So here's a medal. Now you go from sergeant to corporal. Now you got a month to finish your paperwork and get out of here. And they let it come down to the last day, and I grew my hair out, you know, like 3.1 inches, and I didn't shave for a day and a half, and I had to go back and shave before they finished my paperwork. But anyway, I got out and I moved to Washington, D.C. to get a master's in political management, and I was just disgruntled enough to start questioning things. That's how fucking dense I am. I was a libertarian in high school and didn't know what it meant. Well, I'm not going to be a Republican or Democrat. That's lame. What? Oh, leave me alone, libertarian? Sign me up. I'm the guy that blew up the bathroom in middle school. Yeah. So I got to DC and I joined Iraq Veterans Against the War. I saw the website and was just like, that's me. I got to have my name on that list. And that was the start of real activism, of real commitment. And I first made headlines with our mock combat patrol in Washington, D.C., Operation First Casualty, because the first casualty of war is the truth. And so we put on our camis without any identifying insignia to make it clear we weren't impersonating the military. It's funny, no one accused us of trying to impose martial law when we did this, but we walked around like this in D.C., you know, doing the full combat glide. We should have been hunting politicians. So, and I had black gloves on when we got in front of the White House and the snipers were zooming in on us. Someone was like, you gotta take those gloves off, you might get shot. It happens. So, after that, I ran for office as a Republican in New Mexico and made the tactical mistake of having a very tiny modicum of trust in the leadership of the Republican Party. And even that was a fatal mistake for our campaign. And I couldn't shut up when the race was over, so I got a radio show in Albuquerque, and that was the birth of Adam versus the Man, which right before it got canceled as a radio show, got picked up as a TV show for 4 months before it got canceled for political purposes and turned into an internet show, and some other fun stories along the way that Kat already touched on. And it's been an amazing journey to have this possible because of the support of so many people who value not just what I'm able to do and show others and advocate for, but what I want to talk about this evening, yes, I'm just getting started, is the, that I've been, I think in a way that's been a little bit unique compared to a lot of the people who have been fortunate enough to have a microphone as big as mine has been at different times, to be able to talk about myself in an introspective way, in a self-deprecating way, in a realistic way, in an understanding way, where you see opportunities for growth and really take advantage of them and share that with other people. So what Kat said in introducing me is so important because I see the evolution that we all go through as individuals, almost functioning like a hologram where the entire image is contained in every single one, every cell, every individual, where we go through this process of waking up. And the first thing is being brought down by the truth. Everybody has some version of this experience. Most of the rest of the world is avoiding this in one form or another because they'd rather be in their illusion of happiness and ignorance. Because they see those of us who first come to this phase of anger and fear and depression, and they don't want any part of it because everybody's brought down, right? You can't, if you wake up to the world, you're not human. If you wake up to the reality of government and go, gee, I'm so glad the world is more fucked up than I ever even imagined possible. Yeah! You have to be brought down by it. If you're not human. But you have to move past it. Because if you don't, you go out into the world and you're the guy on the corner with a bullhorn going, now join me in my fear and my anger and my depression. Yeah! We're going to make a better world! And everybody says, fuck you! I'm going back to Dancing with the Stars and my wage slave job and my illusion of happiness. Like Derek said, what happens if we have a revolution and nobody changes how they relate to themselves? And I went out into the world as an activist, and I was successful in this negative mindset. In confrontation. Now, confrontation, absolutely. The institutions, the lies, the delusions of society, of your friends, of your family, everybody, confront them wholeheartedly. But you don't have to do it in any kind of adversarial way whatsoever. And this is the difference. And I see the movement already starting to make this shift, and it's really beautiful. We're not a political movement. It's an anti-political movement. Politics is the conversation of who do you point the guns of government at to organize society, and the message of freedom is, fuck that. Yeah. That's evil. Yeah. To govern, to control by force.
Preach.
And when you recognize that it's just evil in and of itself, you have to move past that. You build the system that makes it obsolete. And the shift in attitude that the movement is going through, at least I know that I'm doing this. I've incorporated this into the way that I communicate. And I see others doing this, not because they saw me, but because it's natural, it's automatic. We're all figuring out the same shit. Hey, everybody! You're not happy about all this other stuff out there? Government, war, police state? Let me show you a better way. This is awesome. Let me show you something really cool that I've embraced as a truth that has made my life better. And if you haven't figured out how to use that truth to make your life better, you're doing it wrong. And you're not going to be an effective advocate, because only the people who maybe like us here, maybe like the early adopters, are the punks and the misfits and the outcasts. I mean, it's not the head of the cheerleading squad and the football team and the student body president who are the first ones to challenge the system. Or the intellectual geeks like Ben, who does nothing but read Mises.org. Just kidding. In between beers. Shots of Jack. Okay. Corona?
Crown Royal.
Oh, Crown Royal. Crown and Coke, right?
Thank you.
Okay. So, when you can do that, I mean, I love asking this question on the tour because we have such amazing crowds, and I know in Austin we're going to get a good show of hands. So I don't think I'm even going to ask you to raise your hands, because I know there are people in this room who have not yet talked to their family members. You go out to the corner with a bullhorn saying, "Join me in my bullshit," and your family goes to the rest of the world, "We're sorry about that guy. We don't understand what he's doing either.